Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday to you all. Welcome to Seeds of Faith. I'm Theresa. Today is our pause for thought moment. But before we get into that, I just felt like I wanted to come and chat with y'all a little bit. This morning, as I woke before the Spirit of the Lord, I shared a thought that I had deep within my soul with Him. And here it is. I said, Lord, you know, people are hurting. They're frustrated. They're angry. Your children feel dismayed, agitated, and they shouldn't be angry or frustrated to the point where they want to give up, and yet silently within the core of their soul, they feel those things. And no matter what you say, until they're ready to receive it, they're just going to hold on to all of that mess. Why? Why, Father? Why is it so hard for us just to accept what you want for us and let it go at that and just be happy? And here's what the Spirit of the Lord said. Because you think that when you give your life to me, that I'm always going to make everything okay, that you're not going to go through things, that you're not going to experience consequences. But he said there's a consequence for every decision you make. And this is why when you were reconciled with me, or to me, unto me, I pull you into my word. And then I thought about something that I said in yesterday's video. I said, I will know at the end of the month that you all know this about our study topic. And I thought, wow, that was pretty brass to say that way. And I didn't realize I'd said it until I watched the video back. And God says, that's right. See, when you come into the word with me, I know you know what you need to know. Now, here's the thing about God's grace and mercy. Even though He's given us a choice and He's not going to supersede that choice, okay, He's also not going to supersede or erase or abandon His law. And that simply means this: when we are in the Word and the Spirit of God shows us direction and He gives us a revelation of what it is He's showing us, we then have understanding. Would you say that is so? Now, understanding, as we know and have studied here often, is the wellspring of life, right? Yes. So, what the Father is saying is that when you know what is right and you know the outcome is a blessing for following what is right, why follow wrong? Because then you have to deal with that consequence. And you've heard the word righteousness. The righteousness of God is about right standing within the being of God's will, in His presence, according to His precepts. The ability to be one with God, one in God, reconciled with God, is given to you through the righteousness of God, through Jesus our Christ. So then, Why do we as people who are divinely created in his likeness, in his and in his image, choose to do things that we know we ought not do? It is because of our human nature. But God has given us a way around our human nature. It is called his will. And we gain knowledge of it as we embrace his love. And as we embrace his love, he dwells within our being, spirit, soul, and body, because he's always in our thoughts. We're focused on him. We commune with him. We feel his presence and his love. Our body is strengthened by his presence. And if it's not, it should be. And that is the cornerstone of healing. So is it that we take for granted the very power of God that we possess as we are, how I say, the Bible depicts us as his temple. Now, if God has a temple, what has he got a temple for if he doesn't come into the temple? And if God comes into the temple, then he's in you and he's in me once we are reconciled unto him through Jesus, right? So why do we take for granted the power of God? Hmm. It's a pause for thought moment, isn't it? Then I thought about the people who struggle. Well, how do we know there is a God? I mean, how do we know that animals didn't create us? And I thought for a moment before God again. Well, Father, this how I feel. Just straight out thinking, just thinking, powerful thinking. The brain is a powerful thing. That's why it's too powerful to waste, y'all. We ought not be wasting it. And I thought to myself, well, Lord, huh, I reckon if a donkey birthed my tail, I reckon if I couldn't have children, that I could just go to the donkey and the donkey would birth me a baby. Now, the sun gives birth to light, and light has hues, and those hues can sometimes be seen, especially when you're in the woods. You're looking through the trees and you can see the hues of light. So the sun, as in the ball of sun, it couldn't have birthed me. But if it did, why are people having problems? Hmm. So, in other words, if that was our beginning from animals, why aren't animals today procreating human beings? I mean, sometimes when you get literal about deception and you really start to think about it, 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 it it's mind-boggling how we are deceived with some stuff. And then I thought it must be all about timing. So I would imagine if you're talking to someone who is questioning whether there is a God, and they've just had an experience, a trial, and then somebody comes along with another theory. I reckon it would be easier to accept the other theory than it would be God, because in your brain, if there was a God, right? Talk about the person in this position, talk about timing now. How could it be so? If God is love and all of this, I remember being there for truth. Huh. Just sometimes stuff will make you think, God will make you think. He gonna make you think about some stuff. And you gonna think about it so hard that you can't do anything but take it to the king. And you know why you're gonna do that? Because you must have understanding. We are divinely created by God to seek after understanding, to seek after knowledge. Now comes our pause for thought moment. Psalms 138:8. And I think this is one that we reviewed before. So if it is, I want to say forgive me, but I don't know why, because this is the one I was led to come here to give. So, boop, boop, get rid of all of that. Here we go. You ready? The Lord will fulfill his purpose for me. Your love, O Lord, David says, endures for a moment, forever. God's love endures forever. God's power endures forever. God's will endures forever. His instruction endures forever. His word endures forever. It's the same today as it was all those yesterdays ago. And even if you couldn't read, all you could do was follow him. The word of God is on the inside of you. His name is Jesus. I have known people who couldn't read a tack, who gave their hearts to Jesus and just fluently read the Word of God and had understanding that was remarkable. Don't take for granted your relationship with God. Don't. Depend on it. Understand that it is functional, it's alive, and you are loved forever. And you are corrected forever, because God, as your Father, needs to know that you know what He wants you to know. Then He's going to let you decide. And watch this, the difference between experiencing the consequences to the decisions that we make with the Lord versus without Him is that we have the sovereignty of His love that endures forever, that is continuously wanting nothing but His best for us. So even when we are being corrected and we are challenged by the consequences to the decisions that we've made that are outside of his will, his love is sovereign. That is where his mercy comes into play. That is where his grace comes into play. And so the more you experience being connected to the loving mercy and grace of God, the less challenged you will be to stay away from Him by that contemptible spirit of familiarity that wants to continuously pull you away by telling you that you fall short. Well, in the natural, we will always fall short. But the glory of God is given us through His grace. It is given to us through His love. It is an honor to be loved by God, to be corrected by God. And guess what? It's an honor to be blessed. It's hard stuff to take authority over your flesh. He knows that. The flesh is strong. It has a voice. It has desires. It houses your soul. Remember, your soul is your mind, emotion, and your will. So your flesh wants to feel things and see things and hear things and do things. Believe me, this, I promise, is so. And again, as I said earlier in the week, that we have reasons for everything we do, but God says, stop allowing those reasons to take you outside of my will. Because when you stop the reasons from taking you outside of my will, you won't have to deal with the negative consequences. Now, through some of those trials and tribulations, we learn. Again, it's not about perfection, it's about understanding. It's about transforming a mistake by the glory of God into your testimony that is saturated with the grace and mercy of God, whereby the middle of your testimony looks like, and I did do what I wanted to do, but God, He never stopped loving me. And He came and spoke to my heart. And I was ready and I received it. And today in that area, I am free. All of us want that. But I think sometimes we lose sight of how to get it and how to hold on to it. And that is the purpose of yesterday's video. More on how to hold on to the loving grace and mercy of God, because in fact it is His love. How to stay immersed in it. How to keep your eyes focused on it and your ear inclined to hear it, so that our Jesus, who dwells on the inside of us, can in fact shepherd us away from the danger zones that life tends to offer us every day. What say you? What are some of the thoughts you have pondered? And how has God responded to you? I wonder. He loves you. Simple as that. And guess what? I love you too. I'm inspired by you. Thank you for sharing this pause for thought moment with me. I hope that you have a fabulous weekend coming forward. To get there, you got to finish today strong. And you can do that. You know why? Because you are stronger than you think. That's how amazing you are. From the top of your head to the soles of your feet, you are full of the power of God. And don't you forget it. I'll talk to you real soon, right here on Faith to Faith. Bye, y'all.